Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices, and you can sign up for product alerts. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're getting in the van again and we're traveling down to the wine area of Tucson. We're gonna go down there and check out Vineyard, and we are going to be highlighting a game about wine and tourism called Naramata. So let's go on that journey, come with us. We're gonna go down and check this place out, then I'll show you a little bit about the game. All right. On the way down to Tucson to the wine region, and we're going to talk about the game Naramata, about taking people around and getting them all tastings and cheese and wine, and that's what the game's about. So we're going to go do some on the road footage down there, and so just left. It's nighttime. It's about 8 o'clock at night. We'll get down there. It's about a 3-hour drive, so we'll get around 11 o'clock at night to a rest stop where we'll spend the night. We got down here, look at this, we got little Socks. Socks is back there in her nice little cave. Very comfy. She's got a nice 4-inch memory foam bed. There's 2 of them back there because we're going to pick up Rummy, the other greyhound, her little buddy. All right, we are in Tucson right now. Just got to the gas station, fueling up right now. Diesel's a little cheaper than it used to be, $4.39 now. It was like $5 last time we got it. I just ripped the gas tank thing off by accident. I don't know how that happened, but I gotta figure out how to put this thing back on so I don't lose the cap. So it's like 10 o'clock now, and I think we're like half hour from the rest stop for the night before we then go to the Vineyard the next day. So far so good. Traffic wasn't too bad. It's getting a little chilly out even though I don't have a jacket on, but things are going pretty good. Gassing up. Check on with you later. Got to a cool spot in the forest. There's some other RVers there. Had a false alarm on a gas alarm, but the rest of the night went okay once we realized it wasn't a true alarm. Here's what it looked like in the daylight the next morning. Had the camping chairs set out there, had some coffee, and as you can see, the views are pretty nice. This was on the way down to that wine region in Tucson. There were definitely some small windy roads on the way to the Vineyard. The greyhounds just chilling in their back little den area. And the little dogs in their beds up front too. Now the vineyard itself was a cool little place, had its own little patio there. It also had a nice area outside that was set up to just hang out and taste wine. It had like a cornhole that you could play. And this was part of the harvest host that allows you to sort of park there and enjoy the wine and the views. And so here's where the van was parked, and then down the hill there is where the vines are, but they were dormant at this time of year. It was right near New Year's. But it was time for brunch in the van. Sonoyta Vineyards is the oldest commercial vineyard and winery in Arizona. It was started back in 1974, opened in 1983, and now includes over 30 acres of vines. The winery consistently creates award-winning wines, including a Cabernet Sauvignon, chosen by national wine critics to serve at a presidential inauguration gala. The staff is small, making each vintage of wine a one-of-a-kind experience. The small staff does all the production and vine care under the guidance of Lori Reynolds, the winemaker, who's the granddaughter to the founder, Dr. Gordon Dutt and Robbie Reynolds. Every bottle of wine is hand-bottled, labeled and capped in small batches at less than 2,000 bottles per vintage, and their grapes come no further than southeastern Arizona, with the majority of wines being vinted from estate grapes. Now, being on the 30 acres situated on the south side of a hillside, surrounded by rolling grasslands and several mountain ranges, the hillside planting protects the vines from the harsh winds and frost. So of course, we went upstairs to the tasting room and had some tastings. And it was an absolute treat having the winemaker herself, Lori, walk us through the wines and telling us all about each one individually. Then it was time to go back to the van and play some games. Of course, I brought a bunch of little ones. We didn't get to all of these, we only got to a couple of them, but it was a very nice afternoon. And speaking of games, let's go back to the studio where I can show you more about this game, Naramata, that this trip was all about. In Naramata, you're a tour vehicle operator, taking different tourists around in cool cars with even matching tokens. And there's all different cool cars like the Jeeps and big vans and old school vans and cars where the doors lift up. And you'll be drafting different tourists that want different things like tastings and cheese and shopping, and you're trying to fulfill those for them throughout the day. Now you'll be driving your tour vehicle down different streets, going to different wineries and allowing them to do different things like those tastings, pairings, and even getting views all the way to the end of the day, and the game's played over multiple days. But you're only able to move forward, so once you've gone to a winery, you're gonna have to go to the next one and you have to keep moving forward all the way down. You can skip as much as you want, but you don't wanna miss out on too much. And when you're at each of these spots, you'll be doing different things. For example, gathering cheese and you're trying to get different kinds. If this one gets 3 different cheeses, they'll get 5 points at the end of the day. Or maybe you'll be doing tastings, trying to have different types of wine. Or maybe going shopping and getting different crates. But each of these actions takes a certain amount of time, 30 minutes, hour, 90 minutes, as you'll be going through the different parts of the day. And as other players start to take actions, whoever's furthest back in time will take the next action, and so on and so forth. And if you're doing pairings, which is food and wine, the closer to lunch, the more prestige you'll get, which is a form of currency in the game that allows you to do different things. And as certain places have gone to, they'll get blocked, so you can't go there now or in future days, but you might go and sign a contract with a winery where in a future round you can use this to do all the actions simultaneously. And those signature wineries allow you to get favor, which some people need, and you might actually be trying to get good views, adding those to certain customers as well. And you might be using some of the prestige to purchase special action upgrade cards that allow you to break some of the rules of the game, but are also worth points at the end. And you're trying to end the day as close to 5 o'clock as possible, because if you go too long, you'll actually be penalized, and you'll be playing multiple rounds or days, depending if you want a short, medium, or long game. And at the end of the day, you're going to be scoring these tourists for how well you fulfilled their desires, and next round you'll be getting new tourists to draft, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game is the winner. All right, I hope you enjoyed that trip down to Tucson, all the cool things about Sonoyta Vineyards, and I hope you liked that overview of Naramata. Cool thing about it, I love the theme of this game. There's not a lot of winemaking games out there. There are a few popular ones, like viticulture and vino, and a recent one called Dom Pierre. But there's not a lot of them out there, but there is a cool theme. I like that you're drafting tourists at the beginning of the round, and you're trying to sort of make plans, spread yourself out, things like that. If you're watching this game and say, hey, that's kind of like Takedo, moving down and you can't move backwards and you can go as far as you want, but then you're missing things, definitely inspired by Takedo. as you're moving in one direction. I like that mechanism. I like how the time track is thematic, where certain things are going to take you more time. And if you do certain things around noon, you get more points for it, things like that. I like you're doing set collections of tastings and cheeses and pairings. And again, those pairings score more points near lunchtime. It's kind of cool. You're trying to get shopping items, sometimes views, and the contracts. The contracts are cool because in a future round, you're going to be able to basically do all the actions in basically for one action. You still have to spend the time doing it, but you get a little discount in time, which I didn't tell you in the overview. So it's really good for like future planning. I like that there's some upgrade cards that allow you to sort of break the rules of the game. It's a fun little thematic breezy thing. There's just enough going on to keep you, that make you really think, but then it's also a really light breezy game as well. So it's really cool. If there's anything negative I could say about the game, I could say that there's a little bit of small mechanisms here and there of the way things score, the blocking tokens, and you take some off at the beginning of the round, some of the drafting. There's a little bit of small little mechanisms that might be a little hard for like a casual gamer to get into on their own, but if the gamer's teaching that person for their first try, it shouldn't be too hard. The bigger problem is this game is really hard to get. It was kickstarted. Full disclaimer, I did do a preview of that for that Kickstarter. And it looks like if you go to the Kickstarter page now, they're not taking pledges. If you go to their website, you can't buy it. It looks like there's a couple of sites online where they buy a bunch of Kickstarter games and they're reselling them. So there's not a lot of copies out in the wild right now. Hopefully the publisher will watch this and let us know. And if he provides us a link to where to buy it, I'll put it in here too. But there you go. There's Naramata. I hope to show you a cool game to go along with the thematic place of Sonoyta Vineyards. I hope you liked this journey and checking out the game. This has been a Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships with board games by helping you find the next one you'll love. Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table into a high-quality gaming solution, but they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with over 20 styles of thematic game mats in 11 different sizes from notable board game artists like Vincent Dutray, collapsible cup holders, and real cool accessories, experience what thousands of other gamers enjoy by upgrading every game you play with a Game Topper system. Save hundreds of dollars on Game Topper package deals that are in stock now for immediate shipping at GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below.